It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well.
What?
This is kind of back to how it used to be. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey.
As well as the man who knows all the secrets of the universe, and hopefully someday he will divulge them. So you better keep tuning into our podcast. It's Murray.
Yo.
Hey there, Murray. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, this week on the podcast, we get back to some semblance of normality. We are going to recap our fabulous Cuff experience. We're going to talk about what is coming out in theaters near us, what we're planning on seeing. Yes, theaters, and also known as cinemas. And so, yeah, we're going to be doing that. We are going to be talking Open Rage, the Murman Minute's back, Rage or Dare, and then we're going to sigh a sad little tear for our Cuff and get ready to start watching movies together in the theater.
Right on.
All right, well, let's dance. Doesn't sound very dancey.
That was a dance.
That's all right. We could dance to this, just really slow and real emo-like.
Because we were streaming Cuff, man. This is the Cuff music.
I know.
I was moving on.
I know. Well,
another reason to tune in next week, though, because I guarantee the streaming music will be back.
Yeah, it's true.
There is no streaming this week.
I'm kind of...
Well, it's kind of all streaming in a way, but...
I'm doing my emo dance.
Yes.
It's like Frankenstein.
It's kind of like the one kid on Charlie Brown that's, lifting their shoulders and up one at a time.
They all do that.
Okay, well, let's talk about the rest of Cuff. Let's talk about the excitement that it was the last day, which was our Sunday.
It was, and it was a really good day.
It was a really good day.
Yeah.
I just want to know one thing, though.
What's
What?
that?
Who's Bruce?
I know. It's a typo / autocorrect.
Oh,
Apparently, Bruce is going to be talking about one of the films.
Exactly. In the agenda.
All right. So,
Come on, Bruce.
Yeah, stop calling me Bruce.
Isn't that a movie? They call me Bruce.
They call me Bruce, yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Austria.
From Austria. It was really, really good. In fact, it was better than that.
It was better than just good.
Yeah. This was the best film of the festival, and it was not even close. It shows that you do not need an overdeveloped story and a giant budget to make an unforgettable, engaging film. You can make an emotional, poignant story from something as simple as an old man who hires an Afghan migrant to bury his dead dog.
Kind of both, really.
Yeah, yes, kind of both. That is the premise, and it's one of the best things that I've seen this year. This Austrian film was directed and written by Karl Markovics. It stars Heinz Trixner as the old man, and I'm going to butcher this name, Burhanuddin Hassanzadeh.
Sure, that works.
As the Afghan migrant.
Imagine it faster and pushed together more, and that's it.
Yeah, Burhanuddin Hassanzadeh.
But you want to remember these guys' names because their acting was amazing.
These three men made an unforgettable, character-driven piece of cinema that will stay with me for a long time. I really hope our audience will seek this film out, as it deserves to be watched by as many eyes as possible. This was like a super mondo for me.
Yeah, wow. It was a super great film. So surprising, and not knowing what was going to happen through the whole thing, I had no clue. Another great work where the script, acting, and direction was outstanding. Another, perfect example of a really great dialogue, and a lot of the learning about the characters is inferred and not directly told.
Yeah.
So I really want to drill this home, because I know sometimes this bit of a slap to you, actually, because
Say
sometimes
what?
too much dialogue does not develop a character, and this was a perfectly good example of that.
Okay, I don't know what that has to do with me. I absolutely don't think that we need
Because
a ton
what
of
are
that.
your top
but there's
five?
certain situations where, somebody...
No. It's
Somebody like a Mickey Reese that's got.
I see. That's
got
you.
such
You actually picked up why I was giving you the back of my head.
He was so good, man. That guy. I can't wait to watch more Mickey Reese.
I can't wait to
but
not ever.
Let's not
watch
talk
one.
about that
Yeah.
right now.
But
Let's focus on Nobody because it was the best.
It
film.
was
for me.
almost the best. This is a perfect example of great dialogue and learning about the characters that is inferred and not told. And the development of the character was done impeccably. The dialogue, in my opinion, can break a film or make a great film.
Yeah.
This is a super Death Camp SS old dude Mondo for me.
Yeah, it was so very good. And from where these two started in their relationship and to where it ended, and with him doing everything he can, I mean, it was.
And it seemed natural.
And it was so natural, and it takes place over what, I don't know, 12 hours ish.
Yeah, probably. Well, over the maybe 24.
Maybe almost
maybe
20,
24.
maybe 16 or 24. I guess 24 by the time that the movie's actually over. It was.
But
it was so good.
It also didn't you knew that this guy was in concentration camps, but you don't know where he was.
No.
And there was just little tiny things
You didn't,
that he said. And it was the tattoo that made me go look it up online to find out he was part of the SS.
Yeah.
And finding out what that all meant.
Yeah, no,
So-
it was just so well made I loved this movie.
Yeah.
Just loved it.
I don't argue with you one ounce. This is a fantastic film, and everybody should see this film. There is... for people that are squeamish, there's some scenes in here that you're going to find uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable.
Especially towards the end.
Well, even at the beginning, because
Yeah,
he's like super asshole / potentially racist.
Oh, he's racist.
Well, he was an SS. I'm assuming that's true.
Not potentially. But that's why it's so good, because, humanity kind of takes over.
Yeah.
But then it gets, and it's kind of dark. But, it just such a good balance of everything in this movie.
Yeah.
Just well made and just beautifully shot, beautifully acted. Loved this movie. This was so much the highlight for me.
It was a great film to end the week on.
Well,
the thing that
it's not how I ended my week. The way I ended my week.
Oh yeah,
we'll get to
that.
But this was a great to start a really good Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, so did you notice this too? That of course where the old guy lives had a real concentration camp feel to it. So there's like the theme of concentration camp kind of filtered through the whole. Well, maybe not just concentration camp, but intern camp maybe is the right word to use, because it's like, okay, this guy, he's got to have keys to get in. There's barbed wire around his house.
Well, he's an isolated dude.
Yeah.
The fact that he even invited this guy to help him out. Not invited him. I mean, they haggled about
the price.
That was such a every scene in this was so good.
You could have just every one of these
started at €8 and got him down to 3,
but then went back to 4.
Went back to 4.
Yeah, because he realized this was a bigger job than he wanted to do. I could talk about this movie for the whole episode, but let's go on to the next one, which is I Used to Go Here.
I don't think we'll be talking about this one for quite as long.
I don't think so. I think you're possibly right. So following the launch of her new novel, 35-year-old Kate is invited to speak at her alma mater by her former professor. After accepting the invitation, Kate finds herself deeply enmeshed in the lives of a group of college students. And director-writer Chris Ray stars Gillian Jacobs, Jermaine Clement, and Kate which is okay. Kate Micucci was in there for like 2 seconds. Good. And another good example of IMDb just basically sorting by the popularity of the person.
I was actually pretty disappointed because I saw that she was in it.
Yes.
And then it's like, she's not really in it.
No.
Oh, man.
Did you see this one, Mur? Okay, well, so this one it was not a favorite of mine.
No.
I thought, okay, Jermaine Clement and Gillian Jacobs are amazing.
I love those two.
I love both of them.
Yep. That's why I had pretty high expectations
Yes,
going in. I had
course.
those two, and then I saw Kate Micucci was in it too, which I'm like, oh, cool, bonus. But she's not really.
Well, and Jermaine Clement, he could potentially have made our undoubted list one day because he does pick some usually good things.
Yeah.
This was a very mainstream type of film, a typical Americana cinema.
Yeah.
So I am sure you can guess how enthralled I was realizing this 5 minutes into the film. I did not hate it. I just did not love it.
Yeah.
Everything was fine about it.
Oh, this is exactly kind of what I'm going to be saying.
Yes. But I would be hard pressed to say there are many typical Americana films, at least for me, that I would give a Mondo to. I don't like that whole genre of films where it talks about mainstream people doing mainstream things in mainstream America.
Done well.
Yeah, that's what I said. But I'm hard pressed to think of one that I would.
All right.
Also, as it was classified as a comedy, in fact, only as a comedy. It wasn't a drama or rom-com or anything. It was classified in IMDb as a comedy.
Wow,
I was expecting to laugh.
It was an incorrect classification. It's just a drama.
I was expecting to laugh at least once.
Yeah.
At an hour in, I noticed I only chuckled once.
Yeah.
Not a guffaw type laugh.
No.
Or a knee-slapping situation.
It's not a comedy.
Funny thing, right at the point in the film, I actually did laugh out loud by the master comedian Jermaine Clement taking the photograph of the Polaroid when they took a picture of him, which is in the film if you see it. Yeah, this was I think if we looked up in the dictionary the word meh, this would actually be the definition.
Yeah. That's good. So you pretty much summed up what I was going to say. I'm just going to say this really quick.
Ditto.
Everybody was good in this. Story was good.
Was fine.
Yeah.
They were fine, not good.
I think it was good. The writing was pretty good. The acting was good.
It was fine.
Even the directing was pretty good. It was competently made.
It was fine.
It was a fine little movie.
Fine, there you go. You got the right words now.
Fine's the right word?
Yep.
But nothing at all stands out. Like, not even a little bit. Like, I guarantee if in a year you tell me, did you see this movie I used to go here? I don't know. Maybe.
Has Jermaine Clements.
And I'll go, yeah, maybe I saw that.
That sounds like just really
sounds
should be
like
good.
Something maybe. I hope I don't end up watching it again because I don't remember that I saw it. But yeah, if ever there was a meh, that's what this is. It's meh.
We'll change the Oxford Dictionary.
Yes, to I used to go here. All right, now let's get on to something with a little more energy.
Juice. Let's bring the juice.
Yes, Crazy World from Uganda. Oh my goodness. How do you describe this?
Please fasten your seatbelts.
All right, here we go. So this is an action-packed Ugandan film from Wakaliwood about child-snatching mobsters known as the Tiger Mafia. That is the premise, but it doesn't really matter because there's a lot of things in this that actually make no sense. This movie also it's almost indescribable, Cole.
Yeah, you can't basically sit and say it's kind of like. No, you can't. It's like a Hong Kong action film, kind of, but with super much more comedy.
So what you get with this movie is one of the most unique and entertaining experiences that you may ever have watching a movie.
Yeah, it's very interactive.
This is the definition of the word entertainment.
Yeah.
You will either be laughing or smiling through the entire duration of this film. Sometimes the narrative is a little hard to follow, but don't worry because there's a VJ. And he's there to guide you on this fantastic journey. The VJ is
Is that a video jockey?
No, in this case, the VJ is a video joker.
He is.
And he sort of talks over the movie and explains what's going on. Sort of. More importantly, though, he just blurts stuff out like, the movie is on! And Call of Duty Uganda! And if you want to kill Commando, you must kill Commando!
Or fasten your seatbelts.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes he'll just enthusiastically say, Movie!
I liked it actually when he talked, like he customized it. He must do this. There's obviously clips in there that are part of the movie.
Yeah.
But then there's things because they put in there, Toronto, Canada, when we were at the film fest, and we're just like, what? Yeah. And then there was Calgary was said a couple of times.
We got Calgary in there. It was great. It was tremendous, and this has to be seen to truly appreciate it. I mean, people got to seek this out. This is the one case in the history of cinema where I wasn't annoyed by the CGI. This is how you do CGI.
Yeah.
You do it to laugh at.
Oh,
because
yeah.
CGI is so ridiculous, but that's another...
Well, okay, just a minute. CGI blood is ridiculous.
CGI
is not
general
necessarily
is
as ridiculous.
But in this movie, thumbs up to the CGI. The one movie in the history of cinema where I've said, yeah, to the CGI.
More CGI.
The one thing that makes me super sad is that you couldn't help but wonder how awesome an experience this would have been in a packed theater of like-minded individuals laughing and experiencing the pure joy of this film
You
together.
probably couldn't have heard the film because people would be just laughing so hard.
It would have been so good.
Thank God there were subtitles.
So, this almost goes without saying, but this movie was a super mondo.
Movie. Favorite line? Well, there's a couple here, but one that really made me laugh the most, when I started laughing the most, which is like through the whole movie, was "Wifey, revenge,"
Yes.
or "My eggplants." When she kicks him in the nuts, "My eggplants," or "Crazy World."
Yeah.
Ugandan films are so freaking funny and action-packed. They should literally replace every Stallone film to be made in the future by the Ugandan people.
Yeah.
Period. That's like, if I never had to see another Stallone movie again, I would be happy. And if it was each time that he was going to put a movie out, we got a Ugandan film at the theaters in wide release, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a super fantastic, laugh your ass off, cry yourself stupid mondo for me.
Yes. And in the middle of the movie there, we had a trailer for a movie that they say might come out, and then they put Cuff 2021.
I know.
Please make it happen.
Yes.
Cuff, please make it
Yes,
happen.
Cuff, please make it happen. This needs to go on a Ugandan film has to make it every year.
Like
from
every
now on.
year. Oh my God. And hopefully we're in a theater. We play it at midnight, and we just have a good time. Although I won't be sleeping that night. I'll be so pumped up after watching.
We'll have a gay old time for sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, now we're just going to break it down because we've seen we saw every single film that played.
We did.
And we reviewed them all. So those that are listening, you can go back and check out for the actual films. They're all rated on our website. So you can go to our website and see how we've reviewed them and see. Let us know if you agree. Tell us we're assholes. Tell us we're stupid. Tell us we're the best reviewers on the planet. Whatever you think. We're happy to get your feedback. So our top fives.
Let's do it.
Of the festival.
All right. Well, I guess I'll kick it off. Top 5 Calgary Underground Film Festival films. I'm going to give an honorable mention before I get into my top 5.
That's good. I did one too.
There you go. Honorable mention to Uncle Peckerhood.
Aw, nice.
Lots of fun. Directed by Matthew John Lawrence. Then my number 5. We are little zombies. Loved We Are Little Zombies. Directed by Makoto Nagahisa. Very, very entertaining film. Very unique. Very original. Really good time. Number 4, A Dog's Death, directed by Matthias Gans. I believe this actually won the jury prize this year.
Might have.
Yeah, I'm positive it did.
I believe it did.
Yeah. And deservingly so. Really, really good film. Enjoyed it tremendously. A little bit of a bummer, but I don't mind the movies that are a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Bummers aren't bad.
Number 3. And you'll disagree with this one.
I already know.
Because it's Climate of the Hunter.
Fuck me.
Directed by Mickey Reese.
Oh, God.
I just hope this guy somehow gets his hands on because he doesn't even own the rights to a lot of his films apparently. But somehow he needs to get his hands on all of them and come up with some sort of box set, because the man's made like 27 films. I need to see them all. This might be my goal for like the next 2 years, to somehow see every
spend some of your
movie.
savings. Maybe just go down and help them out.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a box set for one. That's what I'm thinking.
Whatever. This man needs to be seen by more eyes. I'm just Climate of the Hunter. If you get a chance,
Don't see it.
It is something that you won't forget.
This made my bottom 5. If we had a bottom 5, this was in my bottom 5.
Such an unbelievable experience. It is just. It made me smile from like the first frame. Actually, that's not true. It took me about 10 minutes to get into.
I think you said on your review of it was 20 minutes. But
I think. But once I was into it, I was all into it.
Just to interrupt your to get to number 2 and 1, which I have a feeling I'm going to like more than your number 3.
I guarantee you will.
But that this is a great thing about Cuff.
Yep.
I just want to say that right out. Like, just because there's a movie that I do not like, it doesn't mean that this festival is not the best festival that's ever been created.
Yep.
Because they bring stuff to us that is sometimes very polarizing. Like, this is what helps with this type of cinema that we get to see, is that people are going to have opinions, and sometimes they pick films intentionally to make us have these discussions. Because when we've said this on the podcast, if we love a movie, we want to talk about it. If we hate a movie, we want to talk about it. If it's a meh, it's like, if we've spent 3 minutes talking about it, that's a lot of time for a meh.
And to be honest, it's even better if one of us loves the movie and one of us hates the movie.
It's true. Trying to convince the other one to nudge.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Although I have to say, I'll talk about it on my 5, but there's a success that I have to brag about this week from my top 5. Okay, back to you. Number 2.
Number 2 is Crazy World. We just
Sweet.
talked about it. It was so good. It was so entertaining. Directed by IGG Nabwana. Movie. Crazy World's just one of those experiences that I can't wait to see more from Wakaliwood. And my number 1, as I already mentioned in my review earlier in the podcast, Nobadi, directed by Karl Markovic. What a tremendous experience this movie was. It was just the tone of it, the pacing, I loved this movie. Just loved it. If this was the only thing, if this film festival was full of nothing but crap, which it wasn't, it was great.
Yep.
It would have been worth it.
There was
to
only
get
a couple
through all
of
of
rages
it
for me
to get to this movie, because this movie was so good.
And so glad we watched it on the last day.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
We got to see 2 amazing films on the last day.
Sandwich with a total meh.
Yeah, with the meh.
The meh,
as we will call it from now on.
The meh of Cuff this year.
Meh. No, just not even of Cuff.
Just the meh.
The meh.
It's the meh.
Did you see the meh this year?
Yeah. You must be talking about, and I've already forgotten the name of the movie. You must be talking about I Used to Go Here.
Yes, the meh.
Anyways, number 1, Nobody. Over to you.
All right. Well, my top 5 is a little different than yours, although most of mine I know you really enjoyed. So
all right.
My runner-up goes to, and I have to say it because I love shorts, is my honorable mention goes to the shorts package Bloody Orgy or Blood Orgy. There was a good number of Mondos that I put in it. I know, maybe not for you, but for me.
Was Bad Hair Day in that one? Or Bad Hair, sorry.
No, I think maybe. Now I got to go back and look.
Because I rewatched Bad Hair, and man, that was really good.
It is pretty funny. I have a feeling it is. I think it was the last one.
The hair growing out of the eyeball, that was just...
Bad Hair was in Bloody Orgy. Yep.
There you go.
You are correct. Yeah, so there you go. Another reason. So my runner-up is the shorts package. So people who maybe don't watch a lot of shorts, you should check them out, because there's sometimes some super awesome gems in there. Number 5 for me is a doc. It was Hearts of Cardin, which I know you weren't necessarily a big fan of. I love this film because it awakened me to a person that, first off, I imagined was dead, because like a lot of the great fashion families.
He's not dead.
I know he's not. He's like 95 or something.
You want to put everybody in the grave for some reason.
No, I don't. But usually,
they're dead.
But usually
no,
a doc. Usually a doc is made about someone's life sometimes after they're dead.
Yeah, sometimes.
So that's why I asked the question: is it the person dead? And then you're supposed to say yes or no because I know the answer because I watched the movie about them, and then. But then,
like in the last 3 weeks, you've tried to put like 2 or 3 people in the grave. It's not right.
Well, I do have a thing for graveyards. You know that.
Fair enough. Anyways, go on.
So yeah, House of Cardin. I loved it. I thought it was done really well. It was really polished. I really felt that the directors did a great job of taking us through the journey of his life in the vein of which it was. So when you were watching 50s stuff, I felt like I was watching a 50s doc. And then when we were in the 60s, I felt like I was watching a 60s doc. And it was just a great film to learn about a man who is brilliant. And just, yeah, I think everybody should, who appreciates good documentaries. This, to me, was a really good one. And again, we kind of talked about this with rock or music docs.
Yep.
I had no interest in fashion. I mean, you see how I dress. It's not something that's at the top of my list. But this, I thought, was a fantastic doc.
Absolutely.
Number 4 for me was Yummy. I loved this movie. For those who listen on a regular basis, I'm a huge zombie fan. And not always do you get a new release for zombie that's kind of fresh and original. I felt this one did a good job. And this was my achievement for the entire festival, was because I think you were teetering on a meh, and I convinced you with the perfect ending of this movie that I was able to push you just a little harder to give it the mondo it deserved.
It was good. The ending was great.
Yes. Number 3 for me, Uncle Peckerhead.
Nice.
I love this movie also. I just think it was so funny. It was an original idea too, right? Because the creature that Uncle Peckerhead becomes at midnight, it kind of was like a cross between like a djinn and a gremlin. But it's like, I don't know, his teeth was all creepy, his mouth is all pasty white, like vampire, zombie. And yeah, I just liked it. And the ending too was also great because it kind of does lead itself to a number 2. Maybe Uncle Peckerhead could be the killer that is going to take the next decade. The new slasher film for the future is Uncle Pecker 2, Uncle Pecker 3.
New slasher franchise. Come on, Uncle Peckerhead. Please make a number 2.
Yes. And I don't mean because it's going to be shitty. I mean because it's going to be just as fabulous.
I will line up to see it. I hope I line up to see it. There should be a lineup to see it.
There should be a big lineup.
It's awesome.
This, hopefully when it comes out, if it comes out major release again, we'll go see it.
Cool.
Number 2 for me, Nobody.
Nice.
You've talked about it. I love this film. You know what? And it's interesting. I've seen a ton of German films in my day, but I haven't seen a ton of Austrian films. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It's just, they don't seem to get over here, right? Yeah. Or maybe I'm just not looking under the rocks that everybody else is. But this was a fantastic movie. The direction, the acting, everything.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it, but I gotta look up this Karl Markovitz and see if he's done anything else, because I should be looking into this guy, because if this is my first experience with him, I mean, it's worth checking out.
No, he was just like, high five. Giving the high five. My number 1. Do you think you can guess what it is?
Number 1.
Come on.
Oh, We Are Little Zombies, I bet. There it is. I don't blame you.
I loved this movie to death.
Yeah.
Everything about it to me was a perfect movie. I liked the sadness. I liked the gladness. I liked the fucked up weirdness to it. Yeah. Banjo playing hobos.
Playing hobos were so good.
And the music, this is literally on my playlist now. I listen to this album from this every single day since I've seen this movie.
It's not my type of music in any way, shape, or form, and I loved it.
Yes. It's like... I want these kids to go on tour because I will pay to see them go on tour.
Yes.
Everyone should see this movie. It's very heartwarming. And I don't know how the Japanese filmmakers can seem to do this. Like,
Yes.
and I've said this before on our podcast because we have one of our directors that you were supposed to be watching, I think 2 of his films.
Yeah, I haven't
See if he
done
makes it
yet.
on. Japanese directors find a way to institute family into a film better than anybody I've ever seen. I don't know why. Koreans come a pretty close second.
Yep.
And I know it may be stereotyping, but I don't know if it's within their
Well,
culture
it
or
is the Asian culture.
It's just-
family's number one in the Asian
yeah,
culture.
the Japanese films that I've seen that
That's
have
why
family.
That's why grandma and grandpa usually live with the family.
Yeah.
And it's not like here where grandma and grandpa are like held
Put
at
in,
arm's length.
yeah, exactly. Well, and obviously we've seen that from a few cultures, like the Indian culture is very
Yeah,
much like
no,
that. The
the-
Chinese culture is very much like that.
Eastern culture in general, you know.
But yeah, love this movie. Thanks, Cuff, for programming everything you did, and for those
Yeah, absolutely.
of you, go check their website out, which is calgaryundergroundfilm.org.
That's it.
So you can check out some of these films. Check out our website to see if put these on your list to see if you missed it at the festival.
Absolutely.
All right, Mur, what do you got to say about the fest? You didn't get to see lots because you were working like a dog.
Yeah, I'm very sad. I missed most of it. Plus, when I did have time off, I had some issues with the pass that I got, trying to get it to work, and blah blah blah. Because I hate streaming and
Blah, blah, blah.
technology in general. I did enjoy the 2 drive-ins I went to. Jay Baruchel's movie was really good. And yeah, it sounds like it was a good lineup, and hopefully I get to see it in person next year as a volunteer, which is what I love doing,
Yes, you do.
because I missed all the people this year.
Yeah. So, would you, if you had to talk about your experience with Cuff in past, would you say that it's the people that's always made it the best for you?
Yeah, it's more about the experience than it is the actual movies, because, well...
You're
Jim
pretty
and I-
mainstream.
Yeah, Jim and I don't really enjoy the same kind of movies sometimes, and some of the Cuff stuff is a little too weird for me, which is good for everybody else. I just like more mainstream.
Yep.
Like Hunt for the Wilder People. What was it?
Yeah,
Little Monsters.
Yep.
Oh,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Like, I enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more mainstream.
It was.
But, and had Lupita Nyong'o in
But
it.
yeah, no, I just like to volunteer. I like greeting the people. I like talking with the Cuff staff, and hot dogs and the drinks and the
hot dog.
concession, and it's a fun time. And yeah, I miss it this year. So
We all did.
Yep.
Good, well said. Well, I guess there's nothing bad we can say about Cuff. So I guess you know what that means.
I don't. What does it mean?
What are we going to see this week?
What? Like in a theater?
newsflash:
In the movie
movie
theater.
theaters are now open. Well, on
What?
Friday.
Yeah.
Huh.
And we are going to see John Lewis, Good Trouble. And it's playing at the Globe here in Calgary.
Cool.
The film, and it's actually, there's 2 films we're going to see this weekend.
Yes.
One is this, and the other is, do you remember what it's called? Irresistible?
I want to say Irresistible, the new Jon Stewart movie,
Yes.
which is going to play at the Plaza. So we're gonna be supporting our independent movie houses left and right this week.
And just to be clear, Jon Stewart directs it and writes it, not stars in it.
oh,
maybe-
did I say star?
No, you just said
No.
Jon Stewart
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
it is,
some
a, Jon-
people
it is
would-
a Jon Stewart movie.
It
yeah.
is actually a Steve Carell movie. But
Well,
Yeah.
Jon Stewart made it, so it's
Yes.
a Jon Stewart
But-
movie. Steve Carell happens to be in it, but in no way is it his.
But you don't
movie.
want them going to the movie looking for Jon Stewart. He may be in it. Who knows?
Okay,
But
so for Murray, Irresistible is directed and written by Jon Stewart, starring Steve Carell and Rose Byrne, I believe.
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. that
Plus
is-
Chris Cooper's in it, so we gotta
man,
go see it. I
Cooper.
love Chris Cooper.
And we'll be talking about Chris Cooper next week, not just because of this movie.
Well, if I think we're going to be talking about why, the reason why we'll be talking about him, hopefully this movie's really good then.
Yes, I hope so too.
Hopefully, there's no rage.
Or we don't get a
involved.
double meh happen for the poor guy.
Yes.
But yeah, so both these movies that we're going to go see are also going live stream, I think, on Friday as well. One is, I think, through Apple
Oh, is
Apple Plus,
it? Yeah.
and Irresistible.
I know it's streaming. It might.
I think I saw Netflix.
it might come.
No,
yeah,
not
Netflix?
No,
it's not
Netflix.
streaming now, but it's coming. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it might have been. Maybe it's also.
I've
through
actually
Apple.
seen advertisements for it when I was, and I don't remember where it's streaming.
And it's rated G. I don't know how much I'm going to like it.
Irresistible?
Is rated G?
Yeah, it's rated G.
I think that's inaccurate. How could it be rated G? Nothing's rated G.
Maybe there's no blue language, as you like to say.
Yeah, but nothing's rated G these days. Bloody cartoons that are for kids are not rated G anymore.
But they're ultra violent.
They're all PG.
I don't know. Looked pretty G to me. You know, Jon Stewart. After he left late night, he's now during.
I hope it's G because I'd love to see a movie where we get no blue language.
Didn't you just play us an R-rated trailer?
Yeah,
no, that wasn't an R-rated trailer.
No, it was.
Yeah,
it had said restricted right before.
I'm just
There's
going.
no way.
I'm just going right off IMDb. It's
in the trailer, he's like grabbing his crotch.
And I believe he says a few naughty words in there too.
Yeah, So you can rage about IMDb and their inaccuracies again next week.
Maybe I will. Why have they got this as a G?
I don't know, but there's no way it's a G.
So bring the kids and listen to all the swearing.
As they fondle their own genitals.
Exactly. It's
like, hey,
family fun.
What's happening there, Daddy? Why is he touching himself?
So long and the short of it is, we are really looking forward to going to the movies.
Yes. And I'm sure Mr. Potato will take a trip with us, so
cool.
Be ready for some new potato shots.
Oh,
is there anything else?
Right. No, those are the two we're seeing. We might sneak in, unfortunately, I don't know. We might sneak in some streaming stuff.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
But I have no idea I don't know what it'll be at this point, but it'll be something.
Me neither. I think there's a really, really terrible looking Will Ferrell that just came out on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, we might have to
if we're dared to watch that.
I might watch it anyway.
I know.
Sometimes really terrible looking Will Ferrell movies end up being really funny.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, we talked a little bit about my future rage for IMDb and their inaccuracies.
Again.
It's time to transition into...
Are we transitioning, are we?
Yes, we are.
Transitioning.
I was still on the movies coming out. I was so excited.
Yes. It really is exciting.
It is.
Oops. Little rusty.
Blurring. Rage taking over.
Okay, so my rage this week is we are now July 1st. Today is July 1st. Canada Day.
By the way, happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, everybody. And they've been rumoring around our beautiful city because of COVID. And we know just on what's happening in the news down in the South that COVID's not going away anytime soon. So my guess, and this is my prediction, is September, October, they're going to close everything up again. But in the meantime, before that happens, they keep telling us there's going to be drive-ins. And now we got the blessed experience of getting to see drive-in films with our friends at Cuff. But where the fuck are all the other drive-ins happening? Why isn't somebody with money put their money together and got some drive-ins happening?
Why isn't Cineplex and Landmark doing that?
Yes.
They have all the money.
Well, maybe they don't right now because they've been out of business for 3 months. Who's been trucking companies? Why doesn't a trucking company? They've even got a truck. You could turn that, paint it white. You got a drive-in screen. Letterbox. It's like Letterbox. This I don't get. People are hungry to get together. There's been a ton of stuff that's starting to come out. If you're looking at social media, things like concerts where they're like in Saskatchewan. I think maybe this weekend or maybe it was today. There's a giant concert in Saskatoon where they're actually having all these bands come and everybody's sitting like what do they call that when people go to the football game and then they sit in the back of their cars? Tailgating. Yes, they're tailgating, watching these concerts. And it's like, yeah, why? Who is, like, there's so many creative people that are out there who have potential money. Why isn't somebody just said, hey, slap up a drive-in? I don't get it.
All right.
Because every single one that I've seen, like, do you remember was it last year or the year before? That they set up a drive-in in one of the malls by us.
Yeah, that
and it
was,
sold out. Like it was they couldn't.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a disaster because of the way they planned it. But yeah, it was the same kind of screen that Cup had. It was in the mall parking lot, but there were so many people that came to it that it basically shut down traffic on the major highway.
Yeah, Deerfoot it shut down.
It was a parking lot.
Yeah. So I mean, this is something that obviously people would go to. I guess those listening, if you've got money, contact us. We'll help organize, get this drive-in set up.
I will help run it.
That's right. Murray will even run it for you. And He'll quit his job tomorrow to help
Absolutely.
work this. And he'll be slinging popcorn and pouring Coke
He'll be doing the popcorn. He'll be taking your money at the door.
and putting his wiener in some,
No,
the
he's not
wieners
gonna-
into some buns.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my rage this week because I really want to go see movies in a drive-in again.
As
I'm
do
addicted
I.
now. It's like the crack stuff that drug guys do when they get hooked on phonics or whatever they get hooked on.
There you go.
All right.
All right, what do you got, buddy?
Not much.
You're just too. Are you gonna? Wait?
mellow?
Can I guess? Is your open rage today going to be technology and how you can't use it, and how it hates you?
Technology does hate me.
That's
It's
my
like
rage.
your
every
your
day.
life is the Terminator. Is
In
what
a,
it
in
is.
a way, it's like about technology again. I'm kind of beating a dead horse with my rage here, but such is life. So this week we experienced at Cuff some tremendous movies with little to no budgets. This is the way it should be. A good story does not need to have money thrown at it. The focus should always be characters and story, not what we can shoot with all this extra cash. The studios need to go away so I can get more quality in my local cinema instead of a steady barrage of glossy, overproduced drivel. Are there good big budget movies? Of course there are, but the batting average is poor. The fact that Michael Bay gets hundreds of millions of dollars to make a steaming pile of crap every couple of years is disgraceful. You could make hundreds of independent quality
Thousands.
films, for that money. Why not do that? That's my rage. It's simple.
You know what? But it is a bigger topic of discussion that you bring up because you're 100% correct. Like, there's some big budget films that are coming out in this next year I'm super pumped about. But there's movies that we've seen that we know, especially when we talked about for international films, where we know the budget is not that great. Like, they consider, so get this as a comparison.
Yep.
Parasite, right, which won all the awards, but before it got all the buzz from winning the awards, it didn't make a lot of money across the country, and that went on a pretty low budget.
Yep.
One of our favorite collective, I'm going to say, horror movies that's having its sequel, Peninsula, coming out, which is Train to Busan. They made, I think it was 80 million worldwide. And every single person that I know that's seen that movie, and even people like Murray who don't like subtitles, loved it.
Yeah.
And yet it made 80 million. So imagine how much the budget was for that. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked. I was almost afraid to.
Less than that.
But you can imagine it was made for a shitload less than that, because if they were that excited that it made 80 million and now they're going to be making Peninsula, which...
Hey, Hollywood's making movies for $200.
Yeah, exactly. And it's entertaining as fuck. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head, buddy. Like, why do we need to have another? And I don't get me started on my rage about
but I think
Marvel.
Sometimes people are getting the money thrown at them, and it's almost like it's like when you're at if you're in some sort of corporation where you've got a budget for your department, and you need to spend all that money
Yes.
that's in the budget, otherwise you're going to lose it next time. That's almost what it seems like with the movies, where we're almost giving you too much money to work with. You don't need all the money, but
you have to spend
You
it.
have to spend it all.
Yeah.
So you have to find stuff to spend it on, and
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable that this happens, and it just shouldn't.
So here's a question I don't know the answer to, because I
Yes.
look at some of these large companies, and I'm going to point my finger directly at Disney on this.
Yeah,
Because Disney puts out a lot of big budget shit.
sure does.
And if you think about it, is Disney doing anything for the little guy? I don't know the answer to this, so I'm not necessarily raging against Disney. But when you see things like producers, like some of the people, trying to think, well, even Jay Baruchel, right, who does a bit of producing himself, and he's putting out low budget stuff. Obviously, because he's Canadian and maybe he doesn't get a lot of money, but there's a lot of good actors out there. I wish I had been more prepared for this, but there's a bunch of good actors that actually produce films that are in that independent world to give a start to some of these starting directors.
Oh, yeah.
And for
Quite often you'll watch an independent film and that name will come up in the producers.
like Matt
and you're
Damon.
like,
I can think Matt Damon and your buddy Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Do that, I think, a few times. And even people like Quentin Tarantino is heavily involved with supporting some of the... It's certainly in the genres that he likes.
Yeah.
Right? So Yeah. Now you got me raging about it. What'd you go and do that for?
Sorry,
I was
man.
perfectly happy to just be angry about not having a driver.
Now you're double angry.
I'm super angry.
8.5 million
What?
was the budget.
8.5 million. turned
Yeah,
into
so they
80.
And it
they
made
10
10
times
times.
made more money.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty good.
8.5, and you put that in front of any Marvel movie, and it's twice
and,
as good.
And how awesome did that movie look? And you
it
know,
looks fucking amazing.
exactly. Like you don't need hundreds of millions of dollars to make a movie. I don't even think you need 8.5, but so be it.
Well, but there was a lot of CGI.
No,
No, he actually did a lot of practical effects in
he
that.
did a lot of practical effects in that. It was, yeah. So
For those who
Anyways.
haven't seen it, it's basically zombies on a train, but it's really bloody. So
It's not that super. I mean, there's blood, but it's more scary than anything else,
yeah, I can
It's
give
fire.
you scary. Too.
right? Because there was a lot of. You kind of see them eating people, but you don't see the bites like you do in a lot of, like in, for example, Yummy. There was actual eating that was happening.
yes,
You kind of didn't see the eating. There was more running and scaring. But yeah, I think the practical effects would probably brought it up. All right, well, I guess that's
All
it
right,
for
then.
Open Rage this week.
All right then. This is time for me then, right?
Well, we just have to close the rage and then we're
Oh
good.
yeah, I forgot to close the rage. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's coming.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Now the baton is officially passed.
All right. Now I can start.
Get all your. Let's hear that merman music.
hey, I missed this music.
I did too.
All right. Well, as they mentioned, today is Canada Day, July the 1st.
Woohoo!
And of course, my topic is Oh Canada. To celebrate the birthday of this great nation, I present my favorite Canadian films of all time.
Sweet. We've been waiting for this.
Now, I'm not talking about the highest grossing or most critically acclaimed or even, festival favorites. I'm talking about ones that I enjoy.
So this is your top 10?
Not only 5.
Oh.
I have a few honorable mentions.
Is
too.
Canadian bacon on it?
If you let me finish, yes. Honorable mention does go to a movie starring my favorite Canadian of all time, John Candy.
Yes.
Talking about Canadian bacon.
Wow.
Written and directed by
Nailed
an
it.
American, starring mostly Americans, and John Candy plays an American sheriff at war with Canada.
What?
Never has an American film made me feel so Canadian.
That's cool. Not even South Park?
Just the old couple who run the power grid for the entire country. That was awesome.
That's kind of like Canada.
That's true, right?
Yeah, it's just an old couple sitting
Yeah.
there watching TV and they control the power for the whole country.
Sweet.
Also, shout outs to Way Downtown, which was the first film to play at the Calgary International Film Festival
Yeah.
in 2000, and it was shot in Calgary. In 2000, still holds up as a classic.
Cool.
And for my film ragers into horror, there's Black Christmas
Yes.
and Scanners.
Yes.
I also enjoyed Meatballs
Meatballs.
and Porky's.
Porky.
To each their own.
Is Porky's your number one?
No.
Oh.
Canadian, this is an honorable mention.
Oh, okay. These
Okay, here we go. First one I know you'll like. Number
Porky's.
5 is Ginger Snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Canadian
another good-
horror classic
Yeah.
about a female werewolf.
Who does? I
You
mean,
don't
that just
usually
sounds
get.
delicious.
It's just two teenage sisters in a small town, and yeah, one of them is
And
a
weren't they
werewolf.
redheads? Weren't they gingers?
The one was a redhead.
There you
I
go.
don't know about the other one, but it was just creepy and fun.
And she snaps.
And
And
she's
she does snap at some point
well, she is a ginger.
and kills a lot of
People. Bad guys.
chauvinistic men.
Yes. One of my favorite genres of films.
Girl power.
There
Yep.
you go. Second one it's a personal thing, but it's The Rocket.
The Rocket.
Maurice Richard, The
Yeah.
Rocket.
Wow, yeah, that was a good
It was
movie.
actually shot entirely in French with subtitles. One of the few movies
And you
I
actually
liked
liked
with
it.
the subtitles because it was my favorite hockey player of all time.
Wow.
And it was produced with the consent and the cooperation of the entire Richard family. So
Sweet.
it was actually very accurate and didn't just show on the ice, it shows off the ice and the prejudice of the French back then and everything else. It was really good.
Cool.
So I actually know the story because I've read it for years, but yeah, it was
Nice.
good to see it portrayed in live action.
It was a good movie, too.
Number 3 is actually one from the festival, which I don't know if it ever played again, but I have to mention it because I freaking loved it. It was How to Plan an Orgy in a Small Town.
Yeah.
It starred Jewel State, who is from Firefly, one of my favorite shows, and Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps.
Sweet.
And
There's a
basically,
theme here.
Yeah, she comes back to her small town, and she's got, a reputation, and they ask her to help plan an orgy. Which of just small town people trying to have an orgy.
I thought they just automatically did if you lived in a small town.
No.
Oh.
That's not a thing that just happened?
Not a thing.
That's the only reason I was going to move to a small town.
Not for you big city folk, no.
There's a lot of goats and pigs and stuff,
there's
right?
not that many goats.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 is Starbuck.
Starbuck!
Or as the Americans call it, Delivery Man.
Yeah, whoa. That was such a
Okay,
bad
so
rap.
we have to just back the train up here for a minute because this is all coming from the man who says he hates subtitles. And 2 of your favorite Canadian movies of all time have subtitles.
Yeah, what's that
But
about?
they are French subtitles, and I actually understand little French.
Ah, oui, en français.
Because this is a bilingual country.
There you go.
That's
And
true.
since these are both in French, it's
Oui,
a good
oui.
chance for Canadians to watch them.
Ho, 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 garçon.
Anyway,
Oui, oui.
if you don't know the story already, 40-something slacker, basically, he donated a lot of sperm over the years to the same sperm bank and discovers that he is now father to 142 children.
142. That's a big family.
Because they
Yeah.
used his specimen 142 times.
Oh, so he had some pretty good sperm.
Yeah.
I guess so. Then the kids all get together, and it's a nice feel-good
It's a
movie.
great movie.
And yeah, they remade it into a crappy version with Vince Vaughn.
It's
called
so
Delivery
bad.
Man.
They did.
And even
As Hollywood does.
and even crappier TV show called Seed, which is the exact
I
same
didn't
premise.
even know about that.
Thank God you didn't.
Yeah, it was terrible. And of course, my number 1, you can probably guess, Strange Brew.
Brew. Yeah.
Ah,
yeah, I
yes.
knew that was coming.
Follows
Go,
Bob and
look,
Doug
go,
McKinn.
go, go, go,
Thank
go.
you for that. Follows them on epic adventure. Basically, there's beer and there's donuts and there's
Bob and
Max
Doug.
von Sydow, one of the greatest villains of all time.
Yeah. He's mesmerizing.
And it basically is the story of Hamlet,
yeah.
except a couple of hosers.
With a couple of
And
hosers.
there's a flying dog in it. It's just
Flying dog. You had me at flying dog
exactly.
and beer.
It's just great to check out.
Yeah.
But yeah, despite popular opinion, there are some good Canadian films out there. For a complete list, go to CanadianFilmDay.ca. They have over 150 listed.
Whoa.
So on Today Canada Day, since it's been raining the last 4 days, if weather doesn't turn better,
Sun's out right
watch
now.
a few movies. Yeah, for the next 5 minutes.
Maybe create your own drive-in in your backyard.
Anyway, that's all I got. Oh, Canada.
We
Cool.
stand on guard for thee. Mur, as always, you deliver. Just like our friend Sam the Butcher brings Alice the meat.
Sam the Butcher.
You deliver, buddy.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right. Well, you know what time it
All right,
is.
then.
Do you know what
Okay,
time it is?
I guess it's my turn this week. Last time on Rage or Dare, we left our courageous crew, Jim and Bryce, with Sylvester Stallone's action-packed superstar studded film, The Expendables. So are the boys excited to watch the entire trilogy, or did they have to choke down a giant dose of testosterone rage? Let's check in and find out.
Take the lead here, Jim.
Oh, Expendables, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. First thing to know, as much as you think this may be an action movie, it's really a dramatic, character-driven, complex, visionary masterpiece by Sly Stallone. So much heavy plot, I could not keep up with the very layered story.
He is a fine director.
Dialogue was incredible, although the toughest part was that apparently when you rent from Amazon, you cannot turn on subtitles. So between Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger without subtitles, I was lost. Thank God the clarity of Jet Li and Mickey Rourke came through loud and clear.
And Dolph Lundgren.
And Dolph Lundgren.
And Dolph Lundgren. This film was so well written, from what I could understand, that they didn't need to have any convenient plot tricks to make the story move forward.
No?
It just happened all so naturally. Best line in the movie, next time I'll deflate all your balls.
That is a good line.
It was a good line. This had one-liner after one-liner from a mastermind of directors. Intrinsic webs of brilliance. Who would have thought that a Sylvester Stallone directed, produced, and acted film would be this great? Apparently not me. And I'd be right. Because with Sylvester Stallone, I always expect to be disappointed, and I'm never disappointed.
Nice.
Everything about this movie was annoying except Jet Li. But wait! Jet Li was written in as a comedy side piece for all the other douchebag, washed-up losers to make jokes and insult his perfectly enunciated English.
So wrong.
Really, Sly? Make jokes about Jet Li's pronouncing things? And that was supposed to be funny? This was predictable, simple-minded, nonsensical douchebag rage. And I can say is thank God we didn't have to watch number 3.
Or 2.
Or 2. Well, maybe
Who knows?
Maybe it's still in the bag.
They might be in the bag. If they are,
I may
give
just
up.
add them.
No adding now. All right, what do you think, buddy?
Ditto. Can't really argue with anything you've said. I was just so angry at the way they treated Jet Li in this. The fact that he had to get saved by Sly Stallone every time he got in a fight was just wrong. He could kick any of their asses. There's no question. They're all a bunch of over-the-hill douchebags. There's no way that he wouldn't be able to take them. But
even in his aged state.
Yeah. So the fact that Sly had to save him out of like 3 different situations in this film, they made Jet Li look like a doofus. It's not cool. The whole movie's not cool. I hated this movie. Rage.
Murray, not only does he always deliver, but he really knows how to pick the movies that we're going to love.
Because I just picked the movies that I loved and I know you're going to hate. And I loved every minute of it.
That's so fun.
And I don't even like action movies. I didn't watch any of the original stuff at all.
Well, this wasn't an action movie.
Like no
it
Rambos,
was a drama.
no Rambos, no nothing. It
was maybe a rom-com,
A
actually.
bit of a rom-com. There's some rom-com aspects.
Yeah.
It's kind of
For
weird.
no apparent reason,
well, yeah,
actually.
like why did we have the whole Jason Statham little side story that didn't pay off in any way?
No.
Like, I don't understand what was going on there.
She wasn't at the end of the movie with him and like living in a cottage somewhere.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing though, Mickey Rourke's a fine tattoo artist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
How quick is he?
Yeah, he did a whole tattoo in like 2 seconds.
It was great. It's like,
and what was the thing with the knife challenge? I mean, I'm sorry. Like, Jason Statham's thing through the whole movie is he throws knives and hits them in the head every time.
Yeah, but the first time they did the knife challenge, he just had his heart broken.
Yeah, but they had indicated that this is a thing that they do. This is what they do when they hang out at the club.
Right.
Which was called something stupid like...
Tool,
like for a bunch of tools.
It was Tool's Tattoo or something.
Yeah, Tools.
Which apparently you can drive into the tattoo parlor on your motorcycle.
And stick your hand. Yeah, there you go.
You can drive right in.
And then
it's
throw your knife
like
at the wall.
It's drive-in tattoo artistry.
Right, so that...
You're behind the drive-ins.
But that was just...
You should be on board with that. You're
well,
like,
if it was a
drive-ins.
Well,
it's drive-in tattoos.
I do need to get a new tattoo.
Wouldn't it be nice to just drive
Go
up?
to Mickey Rourke.
Well, if it only takes 2 seconds, I'd be pretty happy.
Absolutely. Mickey Rourke's speedy, man. The guy can tattoo like no other.
I'm going to call him up this weekend, maybe.
Hey, Mickey.
Book it for next week when I'm on holidays again.
Give me a 30-second tattoo.
Technically, he was finishing the tattoo.
He was just...
It was almost done.
It was almost done, but he did... I think he did, 3 or 4 letters in like...
3 lines.
In a
3
minute?
seconds, yeah. It was literally...
A conversation, anyway.
There's no way that's happening.
No, never. And it wasn't bleeding either, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, he got up. It's like his... I think they had like... So they discolored his back like ever so slightly, so apparently Mickey Rourke can really work the needle well. He can work it so well that he causes no damage whatsoever.
Yeah, because he only had expe on his back.
Yeah, expe, and then it had to be the balls.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyways,
All right,
why are we still talking
so
about this?
guess who gets to pull this week? Our little buddy Bryce. Were you picking Rage? Dare you picking from me? Picking from Murr? What's the story?
You know what? Whatever. Let's do a dare.
Murray, we didn't get to discuss this.
That's why I'm doing it.
I didn't discuss anything, but
On the fly.
Okay, well, I'm always prepared
Yeah.
for a rage.
Just
a
make
rage
sure
and
Murray
blast.
agrees with it.
Okay.
He might say, no, that movie's awesome. He'll love it.
that stopped you guys before.
Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking of.
They're getting together on this. They're looking at some sort of video
Sure,
type screen.
let's go with that one.
And
yeah.
Murray is in agreement. So we have a consensus. What is my dare?
You are going to, my friend, get to see some of the best action ever created in a movie.
I just watched an action movie.
I know.
Give me something else.
Nope, this is what you're getting. Because it's so important that you get to see Sandra Bullock,
No.
Jason
no.
Patrick,
Yeah.
No.
Willem Dafoe
On
What?
a cruise ship.
on a cruise ship in Speed 2 Cruise Control. Good luck.
It's like a 90-minute Baywatch episode.
That is correct. It's like,
Which they actually
but
did
Michael
that.
Bay did not direct it.
Who directed it?
Jen DeBonge.
Oh, that's pretty much as bad, by the way. Have you looked at his filmography?
He did Speed, though. Number 1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
And he did Minority Report. Oh, he produced that. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
He did
direct
Twister.
Spielberg.
Twister was great.
Twister was not great.
Twister was fabulous. The Paperboy. Oh, he executive produced that. Anyway, good luck with that.
All right. Sandy Bullock.
Sandy.
Oscar winning.
Is she an Oscar winner? For what?
Did.
Yep.
She won for the Lions
Football one.
Oh, she did not.
She did.
What?
Yeah, she did.
Why? How weak was
That
it?
movie was so
know.
good.
Oh my God.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
that's it for this week. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Check out our website at filmrageyyc.com. We are always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often. Give us ideas. Tell us films. Dare us. Give us something. Anything. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage
Rage on.
on.